Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Reuben Hoare Library Board of Trustees meeting. Tonight is Thursday, February 13th at 6:30 p.m. Sam, is there any correspondence?
There's not.
Is anyone here for public comment?
Not that I can see.
Okay. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from the January 9th meeting? Yeah. Any thoughts, comments? Okay. Let's do them both at the same time. Has everyone had a chance to look at the January 23rd meeting, which was about the liquor license? Yes. Any thoughts, comments, questions? Okay, let's take a motion to approve both sets of meetings, both sets of minutes.
I move to approve both sets of minutes from January 9th and January 23rd.
I second.
Okay, and since we're on Zoom, we're going to do this one at a time. Mira,
Yes.
Katrina,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
and Kimberly is a yes. Okay, great. Let's move on to the treasurer's report.
Okay, so the MBLC has $686,044. The lead has $116,895. State aid has $29,217.30. Gift has $39,564.90, and MMDT has $19,302.14. Building gift has $30,057.08, and the Barth month ending value is $1,721,544.40.
Great, thank you. Does anyone have any questions about those numbers?
Nope.
Okay. Moving on to the Friends report. Mira.
Okay, so this says 42 new members in January, so I think that means brand new, not just renewing. So that was good. The book sale room total for the last 2 months was about almost 1,300. So that continues to do well. What else? They approved money to fund food for the YA room because the hungry teens go in there and eat lots of food after school. So they are feeding them, which keeps bringing them in. Let's see, the Love Your Library month cookie sale went well. That brought in, I think, a little over $400. So that was more than last year. So they were pleased with that. They brought in $75 from Santa letters.
Huh?
So that was good. And then the spring book sale will take place the first weekend in May, May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They also, for Love Your Library Month, the candy contest is ongoing. So there's the jar to count the candy. Mini golf plans are in full swing. So the liquor license, as you know, is approved. Little Town Coffee will not be there because his truck is not running. So that was sad, but they will trying to have other, maybe just serve coffee, have an urn or something to do coffee. And those were and then there is a United for Libraries Friends board retreat in March. And so they are going to try and attend as a group. It's a virtual thing, but they will meet together at the library to attend the conference virtually, or the retreat virtually. And I think those were the main things.
Great. Thank you. That sounds great to have a friends retreat all together. That sounds fun.
Right. And if anybody is interested, I cannot attend the meeting next week. So if anybody wants to go to the Friends meeting,
When
or
is the meeting? What's the date and time?
Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
Okay. I can try.
Okay.
And it's at the library?
It is at the library in the Murray room.
Think so.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll email if I can't and someone else can go, but I'm pretty sure I can go.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, thanks, Mira. That's a lot of information. Does anyone have any questions for Mira about what the friends have been up to? Okay, thank you. Moving on, building updates. Sam.
Yeah, so our favorite gate broke again. Came off of the track. So I contacted Eric and I gave him all the information about how to contact Fromholtz, and he badgered them until they finally came in. They came in, they fixed it. He basically went up there with them to see what they were doing. So he thinks that if it ever happens again, he can fix it himself. So we'll see. But it is currently fixed, and I don't know how much it costs to fix because it's going to the town, but it's repaired.
Okay, good.
That's it.
Any other building issues?
No, George is going to install an AED on the main floor next to the elevator.
Good.
I asked him about the bottom floor, and he said it was hard enough for him to get this one, but he's going to work on it.
Okay. Are we still thinking about looking at a different kind of gate, or are we planning on sticking with this one? I know it's something we were talking about a while ago.
Well, if it breaks again, let's see if Eric can fix it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay. All right.
Nice to have Eric on board to help
Yes.
us with that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you have a question for me, Kimberly?
Oh, no, I was going to ask if anybody had any questions for Sam about the building stuff. Yeah. Okay. Mike, go for it. Assistant Director's report.
I attended a MBLC Tech Services user group on Tuesday via Zoom. It was pretty short, but those are always good. And then Atsuko and I really haven't had much time to work on our audiobook project since, I don't know, we've just been getting new stuff in, which is good. So we haven't really been working on that, but I'm sure as time goes on, we'll get to finishing that up. And that's about it.
What were your takeaways from the group meeting about tech?
Nothing too exciting. It was, a lot of just sort of updates from MBLC about what they're working on, which doesn't really affect us, but it's kind of interesting to get there, sort of to see what they're doing, batch editing and fixing records and stuff like that. And then the last bit, there wasn't any user submitted discussion topics, so we just talked about scheduling. So we spent the last half of the meeting talking about scheduling at a later date, scheduling the meetings, because I guess they're always trying to get more people to participate. So they, are trying to find days that work for everyone, and it's messy, but that was sort of the the longest part of the meeting was about that.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have any questions for Mike? Okay. Moving on to the director's report. Sam, you've got a lot.
Yeah. So as you all know, I attended the ALA conference in Phoenix. It was great. Much warmer weather. It was very nice. I put my report at the end, which I'll talk about in a little bit. This should say George is going to install the new AED on the main floor, like I just said. I presented the FY26 budget before I left to a joint meeting of the Select Board and Finance Committee on January 22nd. and they didn't seem to have any issues with my budget. So we'll see how it goes. The library closed on February 6th due to snow. I attended an informal meeting of library directors from Groton, Ayr, Shirley, Dunstable, and Lancaster. We're going to try to meet on a regular basis, just to talk and get to know each other and talk about what our libraries are doing since we're so close to each other. So we're going to keep trying to do that. On Saturday will be the grand opening for the Seed Library. Last Saturday, Judith and her group spent a good portion of the day filling seed packets and envelopes and getting the Seed Library ready to go. And Saturday will be the big grand opening. So we're all very excited about that because a lot of people ask about that. Carla Whitaker started as our new library assistant back on January 15th, and she's doing very well. Abby's also been doing very well. They're doing great. They're learning. We had a department head meeting today, and Julie Bernardi said they're both doing great. They're good hires.
Great.
And winter reading is going strong. So far, I think Megan said she has about 60 teens that signed up. Diane had a few hundred, forget how many. And Susan's had about 150 adults take part. So it's going pretty well. It's going to last another couple of weeks. Unfortunately, Take Your Child to the Library Day was last Saturday as well. And we were supposed to have a magician, Mike Bent, but there was some miscommunication. Diane sent him he usually comes at 7:00. He comes almost every year. He comes at 7. And this year, Diane asked him to come at 2. And so he wrote back, "Sure, I'll be there at 7." And Diane just saw, "Sure," and didn't realize it said 7. So, so he was very apologetic. He said the next time it's on him. So he wants to come back again, but unfortunately he wasn't able to make it. So we showed the movie Frozen instead, which some of the kids took part in, but it was great. And so that went well. And then as far as Phoenix, I attended about 10 sessions while I was there over the course of 3 days. A lot of talk about programming and learning about what other libraries do. We talked a lot about the law, especially with the change in government recently, and about how ALA is going to bring back law for librarians. So they used to have this advocacy group where they would teach librarians about the law and censorship and book banning. They would take them all to Chicago, all expenses paid, and kind of do a training with them. And then they would go back to their own states and go to other libraries and institutions and basically train other groups about what to do. So they're going to bring that back again. So we learned about that's a new thing they're thinking about. I went to a seminar about seed libraries. The one in Yonkers, there's a Yonkers public library that does it, and they kind of do the same thing we do, actually. So it was good to hear that a lot of other libraries are doing the same things. We learned about doing a Comic-Con at your library. So I was talking to Megan about maybe bringing a Comic-Con to our library at some point. I think that would be a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. It was fun. It was nice to be around other librarians. I saw some old classmates from when I was in library school. I saw one of my old bosses. I got to go to the Grand Canyon too while I was there. So it was good. It was a great experience. Yeah.
That's great, Sam. I'm really glad that we could help get you there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, terrific. I have 2 questions and then I'll ask if they're not specifically about that earlier things. One, when you mentioned meeting with the other library directors, I think that's awesome. Was there anything that you got out of this first meeting?
No, it was kind of like Mike's meeting. We just kind of talked about schedules.
Yeah.
And just got to know each other. This was like my first meeting with them. I think they had met before, only a couple of them, and then they kind of expanded it. The Groton Library Director, Vanessa, she said, "Oh, you should invite Sam, from Littleton," and and other, so everybody. So we all kind of just met. We met at the Air Library for coffee. and we just kind of talk, got to know each other, and then we're going to try to do it again next month.
Terrific. That's great. And my other question was, Susan's not the number for adult reading. That sounds like a big number. Is that a big number for adults, or is that?
Yeah, it's usually around 100.
Okay.
I think when I did it last year is like 130.
Yeah.
So she got maybe a few more. Yeah.
That's great. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Who else has questions for Sam? Unmute yourself and go for it. Nobody has questions for Sam. Okay.
Yeah. The other thing was, I sent you guys the results so far from the marketing programming
Yep.
survey. So, yeah, so far we have about 160 people that have taken part. Something we've noticed is that it's kind of lopsided towards adults. So I encourage Diane and Megan to kind of push it a little more so that we get more teen input and kid input, or at least parent of kid input. But yeah, so far it's going well, and everybody had great things to say about the library, except for one person who never goes apparently. Other than that, it's going pretty well. So I plan to keep it open until probably the end of March, and we'll see what happens.
That's great. And then you can kind of put everything together for us, present in April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually, Sam jumped to my questions. I was looking at your responses so far. So I guess my question about the survey is, how are you going to keep promoting its existence over the next few weeks?
Well, it seems like everybody gets it through the newsletter, so I'm going to keep pushing it through the newsletter. I told Megan, said she's going to talk to the kids. She said some of the kids didn't understand some of the questions. So she's going to try to talk with them through it. She said that's why they haven't taken it. It's that they don't really get it, which is understandable. And then, Jennifer and Diane are going to try pushing it there as well. Just, go up to they've already been doing that. Jennifer's been at her story times. She hands out paper copies and she gives them to me. So I have a stack of paper copies in my office, which I didn't include with all this. So once in April, once I look through everything, I'll include all of that as well.
Right.
And is there any way to get that survey into like the town newsletter or the COA or the school newsletters, the principal letters? Like, is that something the school the town would be willing to help spread the word about?
So it's already on the town website, and they promoted it on Facebook on Saturday. So the deadline is the 15th for the town newsletter. So I'm going to send all that in on Saturday. Great. And then it'll show up in next month's newsletter. That's another reason I'm keeping it open for another month.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure you're not only looking at the people who we already have contact with, that we're getting a broader sample.
Yeah, and I'm going to I printed out a flyer with a QR code. So I'm going to try to take that around. But with the snow lately, it's been tough. I'm trying to get it out.
Great.
Sarah, Chris, Mira, anyone have questions for Sam? No? Okay. All right, moving on. Old business. I have something. Sam, do you have anything?
No, I don't have any.
Okay, I just have, I guess this is an update on Ray Grande. We have one submission. Chris and Steph and I met, I think last week sometime, and kind of did an update. We've got, the form is up there. We have the, template's not the right word. What's it called? The thing that the assessment. Is that word for that? Anyway. Rubric, thank you. We've got the rubrics. And I am going to do another, after vacation is over, I'll do another kind of go around with all the communications to everybody, make sure it gets all the places we did it the first time, and hopefully we'll get a few more, because I know that lots of things come in right before deadlines. So I'll do that when I get back from vacation.
I know I've seen it in the high school newsletter every week. So
every week, it's great. Yeah, I'm so impressed because it's so hard to get things in places sometimes, and it's right there at the top. So yeah, I appreciate that.
I have one old business.
Okay, go for it.
I just emailed Sam and you today, Kimberly, with some ideas for shirts. I went around the library and Sam had sent me some ideas of new staff attire now that we have a changeover and more staff to update it. And so Sam gave me some ideas, and then I went and when I talked to librarians, they gave me some ideas. So I just sent you guys some examples, and you can, Sam, I'm looking for you to get staff feedback about what they really want. Before I don't know, we can appropriate money now for it, or we could wait until March, but it's up to you guys. We don't have a budget yet, so that's the kicker. Until we get
Right, my cat got stuck in my office and he was crying to me and he wanted to get out. Okay, I'm fine with, we have money and I'm fine with definitely spending what we need to spend. I mean, if it's a $35 for a quarter zip, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Well, and it could be more. You have to get the logo on it, but the example order that I used that from, they worked out to be about 35 each.
Okay.
And that included the setup fee.
Yeah.
And they look great. Like I can bring an example in if the staff want to see one. It just will have a different logo on it.
Sam, what do you think? Do you want to share all of these and see what people think, or do you want to just make a decision, or what do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I actually sent it out a few minutes after Katrina sent it to me, and so far I've gotten 3 responses. So far 2 people like him. One person said they take their that the staff takes stuff on and off all day because the temperature in the building can change. So full zip might be better. But other than that, everybody else seems to like them.
Yeah, and so I also did a polo because I know so we're like maybe a polo over. So I mean, we could offer 2 different styles of things. I don't think we can get too crazy and do like everyone gets what they want, but I think we could pick. And there might be a full zip option of the same style, Sam. I just haven't looked.
Okay.
So we can look at it. The website has lots of options, so we can go look at that. Well,
so far the responses I've got have been positive.
Okay. Great.
Katrina, thank you for doing that. Let me know if I can help.
Steph actually volunteered to help me. So
great. Terrific.
I'm going to, and I took over her thank you delivery because of her vacation. And also I realized I was going to those locations anyway. So I was just going to do hers at the same time as mine. And then she is going to help with the shirts. So that'll be great.
Okay, and then the other, do you want to just talk about, because this also, you sent this out this afternoon also about
thank yous. Yeah. So you love your library, but reverse thank yous, because the library can't really operate without some help from these other town departments. And so thank you for everyone who signed up to deliver cookies and thank you notes. I have the postcards are right here. This is what Wendy left us, so we should use them. They're just blank on the back. I am going to go put them back in my box probably tomorrow. So or unless you guys are like, can you write that my thank yous, and I'll arrange just to drop them off. So if you guys let me know if you want to write your own thank you to the departments you're baking for, or if you want the blank cards, you can write it or I will write it for you either way. My plan is to go next week, but if we can do them by the end of February during Love Your Library month, I think that's great. I know not everyone's schedule is the same, and we have vacations for school next week. So,
sorry, you're going to put them in your box tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll take the blank ones I need out, and then I'll put them in my box tomorrow for those who want them. And even if you only use thank you note, that's fine too. I don't think we need to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be strict on things and make it hard to accomplish what we're intending. So.
Okay. I'm looking at some of them we don't have quantities for. I haven't had a chance to go through that. I'm just curious about whether like how many I should do.
Which do you have?
I have installation of new computers, IT.
There's not that many in that department, right, Sam? So some of them I can't easily find.
Okay.
Yeah, IT just has 2 people, Tom and Nancy.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I can't do this until I get back, which is on the 22nd. That still gives me like a little bit under a week. Are you really up for baking? Because I will happily take you up on that.
Well, she may be leaving too. Who's up for baking?
Because Mira is up for baking.
Yeah, I can, let's see. I can bake this weekend, and if there's any, like I can freeze things or whatever, but I'm happy to bake anything.
That would make me very happy if you could bake something and I could pick it up a week from Sunday.
Sure.
Or a week
Yeah.
from Monday. Yeah. Okay.
All right. I will bake.
Thank you. Thank you, Mira.
No
I
problem.
appreciate it. Okay. I guess if we have any other questions about that, we can kind of just go through Katrina. On like on an individual level. Yep. Cool.
Really, you have just the HR department small too. So I think you could easily take a dozen of something and just divide it in half.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Yep.
Some of them are like DPW and LELWD, and I know that gets like, who are they contracting, who's walking through that day. So I think I'll just do a dozen of whatever, and it's going to be what it is.
Yeah.
But then you have the fire and police. So Sarah might need some support just because those are larger departments with baking. I don't know what you're thinking, Sarah.
I can bake a lot of cookies. I'm fine with that. So I'll try and get that done next week.
Great. And I'm doing it next week just because that's when I have time. So, all right. That's all for my old business.
Okay. Thank you for that. All right, new business. We have library policies.
Yes. So we're going to first look at the library usage policy. I'm sorry, I'm on my phone. So to unmute, it says my video is stopped. So if you can't see me, that's why. So we're looking at the library usage policy. Hopefully everyone has access to that. Let me know if you don't. And we were very careful to track the changes this time. So the first change we're making is taking out welcome to Littleton Public Library because we don't need that in the policy. And then we added a link to the borrowing privileges policy. We just added the link there. And then in the event of any property or the library is damaged or destroyed, we changed it from the person or persons to the persons with a, S in parentheses.
Mhm.
And then further down, a lot of this was added from the code of conduct that we found from other libraries. So stealing, damaging, altering, or inappropriate use of library facilities. We took out the line about smoking and vaping because the code of conduct had more extensive language on smoking and vaping. This is all like in the kind of pink is what we're suggesting that we add. And that's again from the patron code of conduct from other libraries. And then the bullet point, no activity relating to sales. And we just made some word changes there. So such as signs, collection, or solicitation, including distributing written leaflets within the library or its parking lot or walkways will be allowed, except by a vote of, what? Yeah. And so then again, we took out the language about solicitation because that was overlap. We added a link. Sorry. Yeah. So Sam, we had a question. It says printers. The library provides pay per use copiers and printers. Do we still have printers available for patrons?
Yes.
Okay. And do we have fax machines?
Yes.
And the trustees set the rate for that?
That's never come up before, but yeah, I guess.
Okay. So does anyone have any questions about the proposed changes?
I see one place that says missing info. The headline, the bullet point that says using personal electronic equipment. Da 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 da. At the end, yeah.
I don't know why that says missing info. Where did that go? I will have to look into that. I didn't notice that. All right, I will look into that. Any other comments or changes?
What does the study room bullet point to? Like, what's the Google? It's a Google Doc. Is that the other policy, meeting room policy?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. Stephanie added that. So
Yeah, because
yeah, it should be because it says click here. So,
but it shouldn't go to a Google
Meeting
sheet.
room
It should go to
policy.
something on the website.
all right, I will
Yeah.
check that link.
Likewise with the RHL borrowing provisions policy, if that's going to be a Google Doc, that should also on the top. That should
Yeah.
also do. Yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Okay, I will make sure those links are correct. Anything else?
Only that when this is finalized, just to make sure that the fonts are all the same.
Okay.
They look like it, but like the bullet points look like they're lighter than the other ones. That might just be because they were added, but just
Right. Yes,
anyway.
that's a good point. I will make sure the format is all the same.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Any
so
other comments on? I'm sorry.
substance wise, I think it looks great. I don't have anything that those yeah.
Okay.
How about let's see, Katrina? Anything else?
No.
Okay, Mira. I know we're gonna. Yeah, Mira. I just want to make sure everyone has something
No,
to say.
all good.
Okay, Chris. Okay. So I think that apologies, Sarah. We're gonna wait to vote
That's
on
fine.
this next one. Okay. But it looks like substance wise, it looks really good. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
And now we will look at collection development policy. And again, let me know if you don't have access. But I tried to make sure that everyone had, it was shared with everyone.
Yep.
I couldn't open this one, but I can see it on the screen now.
Okay. And again, we tracked the changes. So just some small word changes.
I do appreciate the track change version, so we see what's changed.
Yes. Yes. So just mostly wording changes on this. And you can see what was, what we're suggesting taking out or replacing. So please let me know if you have any comments. I don't think there were any questions.
I'm glad you took out the word demanding. The demanding needs of the Littleton population. I can't believe that was in there.
No comment.
And it looks like the links are a Google Doc, so the library of things. So I'll have to check the links.
My only concern is going to go to the sentence about parents being in charge of guiding and overseeing. I know why it was edited this way. It sounds better, but I think the purpose of their own child's development is to be very clear that whose child they're in charge of.
Agree.
So that's my only concern.
It does say of each child, can we put it as is ultimately the responsibility of their parents or guardians? Would that be a way to clear that up?
I mean, I know it's redundant and I know it's awkward, but I have no problem with it saying own child in where it currently said own children.
Okay.
Just simply so that it's very overt.
So you want to say instead of each, you say own?
I think the first part of the sentence and how it's been amended is fine to me. Like it reads better, so that's fine with me. But it's the oversee their own child's development piece.
Oh, I see.
It's
Yeah,
the end of the
yeah.
sentence. Like I almost want to repeat it because otherwise it's saying it's ultimately the responsible of parents and guardians. And I know why that I would prefer the sentence to read this way, but I think in this day and age, repeating whom they have oversight of is important here.
I agree with that. And I also think that if we added the word, because right now, if we have activities of each child is ultimately the responsibility of parents and guardians, it's just saying generally parents and guardians, it's not saying their parents and guardians. So I feel like the word there would be helpful in there as well.
I agree. Like I really want to drive home the fact, the point that these are supposed to be choices of a family or parents, but not necessarily they can't guide the guidance of other families. They have different responsibilities and choices. So I think what we're saying is the reading, viewing, and listening activities of each child is ultimately the responsibility of their parents, guardians. So where Kimberly's cursor is there.
There, okay.
Who guide and oversee their own child's development.
So keep own, okay.
And you can make it, or I mean, children's fine, but child specifically.
There, okay, hold on. I just own child.
Possessive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should it be child or child? Possessive, right? Is that right?
Possessive is the point I'm trying to get at is there is a parent child or guardian child connection here. That's what makes this unique is those parents can choose for their children, but not my children. Right.
And Sarah, yes, possessive, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But the other wording in that paragraph is okay?
Yes, I actually liked how it got cleaned up. I've always been a little like, why is it hearing? But
okay.
I mean, I guess you overhear things too. So hearing isn't exactly wrong. But I think in this, it's collection development. So listening is
right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Any other suggestions or changes?
The other link for collection development policy.
Yeah, I don't know why the links are like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I will change that.
Other than that, I like it.
Okay.
And did the vaping alcohol, is that consistent with town policies?
That was on the other one, right?
Yes.
Sorry. Yep.
Okay.
I hope we are not making a collection of those things because that would be a very different business we'd be in.
Yeah.
Instead of freely lending books, it would be a very different thing. Sorry. My notes are out of order about questions to ask, so my bad.
Sarah, do you happen to know if that's consistent with the town? I know we talked about this somewhat recently with regards to guns and whether or not those were allowed in other town properties, because we wanted to make sure we were consistent.
I can check on that.
Cool.
Yeah, that's for the other policy, but
yeah. All right. Does anyone else have any thoughts on this? All right, Sarah, thank you so much. Well, it seems like there's very little to update for next time, so hopefully we'll be able to just take care of it, check them off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those critical policies. So one we should make sure we're always hitting every couple of years.
Yes.
Cool.
All right, thank you.
All right. Moving on, Sam, you've got a delayed opening.
Yeah, I'd like to do a delayed opening on March 18th to 1 p.m. so that we can hold an all staff meeting.
Sorry, delayed till what time?
1.
Okay. And I don't know what day of the week that is, but
That's a Tuesday.
A Tuesday. Okay. As usual.
Mm.
Just any concerns about that?
No, did we not choose dates earlier?
I thought we did, but Currently not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you planning to have another one on a specified date? Should we just vote in for you right now?
Logical
No,
follow-up
that was
question.
no, I haven't. I have to go through and look. I just realized when I was making the agenda that we hadn't had one of these in a while. So I just put look for that date. It's hard because there's a lot of programming coming up in the next few months. So next time I will have a list of dates.
Right. What's the plan I mean, we're going to vote on this and it's going to be fine, but like, what's the plan? What are you thinking about for that professional day?
We're just gonna do a regular, just us staff meeting, just so that we can actually talk and have time to talk. Because in the past, it's great having, like CPR and all that stuff, but it kind of takes up a lot of time. So this meeting will just be us and just us talking and that kind of thing.
The kicking off summer reading prep and stuff.
Yeah, that kind of
Great
stuff
time.
too. Yeah.
I mean, both kind of things are important, training things, but
Yeah.
also time to do your jobs as a group and reflect is also important.
All right. Would someone like to make a motion for this?
I moved to close delayed opening till 1 p.m. on March 18th for professional development.
I second.
All right. Mira,
Yes.
Katrina,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Kimberly, yes. Okay. Good. Other business. Sam, got anything? Other business? Okay. I just wanted to, no one's going to watch this anyway, and we all already probably know, but the Littleton Reads is going on, right? With what's the name of the book and the event?
Hold on.
Okay.
I have it on
The book is
Hold on, someone's over there.
The book is The Year of Zero.
Yeah, the year
Year Zero.
Growing up in the time of the Khmer Rouge. I read it and I highly recommend it. And it's a quick read.
What's the date of the presenter?
I believe that's March 19th
Yeah,
March
March
19th,
19th
yes.
at Littleton High School Auditorium.
at the high
I have
school.
the book on my nightstand ready to read.
I have it also. Yeah.
Me too.
And we have it on our island because three of us are reading it simultaneously, so our bookmarks just keep jumping each other.
Do you have different bookmarks, one for each of you?
It's 3 different color stickies.
I love that. It's wonderful.
I mean, it came home through the high school, so
Yeah,
trying to all at least read one of it.
that's great.
Some of us more successfully than others.
All right, trustee updates. I guess I'll start. I went to the Groton Library for events twice on Saturday, back to back. There was a puzzle race, which was super fun, and we all had to do the same puzzle. I think there were 6 teams. My dad and I were a team, and I guess they kind of talked to all the other libraries somewhere. There's a spreadsheet that keeps track of all the puzzles that the libraries have. So they picked one that was across all the libraries, and that was very fun. And then the afternoon I went back for an art craft project thing. So nice to do that. Nice to kind of go to other libraries. I also did the wire tree by Ryan Kelly, which I think was in the last month also, and that was so much fun. So yeah, yay libraries. That's my update. Anyone else have anything? I see Katrina unmuted. Sarah unmuted. Katrina first.
I think I just stayed unmuted, but that's okay. So I've also gotten to come to some of our programs over January, February, which was kind of nice to actually get back to the library and learn from people. And then I've actually spent time, I'm handing off a lot of the library mini golf sponsorship stuff to Susan, but also somewhat involved still. So helping with that fundraising adventure as they plan mini golf, which should be a lot of fun. And they're doing well so far with sponsorships.
Awesome. Sarah, you wanted to say something?
So I have been doing the winter reading. I already got 2 tickets, and now I'm working on filling an entire bingo card. So I checked out lots of things from the library today for that. Also, Kimberly and I attempted to do a trustee meet and greet today, and we didn't have anyone.
That's right. Sarah, thank you for reminding me about that.
So, but I did get some signatures for my nomination papers, which was great. So, yeah, but we didn't get anyone to come talk with us today. So,
And that was kind of a question we had when we left that, which is what happens if we don't get anybody to run? I mean, not that we don't get, what if nobody runs? What happens then? Anyone know? Do we have a 5-person board? What happens?
No, it's in our policies. It has to be appointed, but then I think it also goes to the select board. So
I remember trying to figure out how to get someone even appointed if nobody wants to run.
Yeah, I mean, ideally we find somebody who's willing to run.
Yeah.
There are a lot of boards that have vacancies, and they just wait for somebody to volunteer, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does, our policies do say we're a 6-person elected board, and there is part of our policy for how to go about getting an appointment. So,
Okay.
Much like if the school committee had a vacancy, it would be the same way.
Okay.
So I do think, what are the ways we could perhaps spread the word about, I mean, we did a meet and greet, but maybe this time it's isn't the best. Is there a way to do another? When's the last day to pull papers? I'll look it up. I have a tool in front of me. I mean, there is a way to do it. So if no one really runs, we can do that. It's just unfortunate we had a contested election last time, and then now we don't have enough. And I did reach out to the candidate last year, and he is unavailable this year.
We reached out to someone else as well. I know that Wayne emailed Mira, and then I reached out to Wayne, and I didn't hear back, but I will follow up with him tomorrow and see if he said that he knew people. I don't know if he said he might be interested, but I think it was people that live at Hager with him expressed interest.
Yeah, I think it was other people that he knew.
Yeah.
That were just wanted more information.
Yeah. I would love to give them more information. Okay.
Papers are due in March 24th, but it doesn't say on my papers when the last day to pull is. But I guess if you can scramble and get names by March 24th, you can pull up until then.
It says that on your paper? I do wish there was an easier way to view this.
They filled it in, so it says papers must be submitted to the Board of Registers by Monday, March 24th. But that was like they filled that in, so
yeah, I believe when I ran, I think it's a few days, like March 24th. So I think you can't pull as of either like Thursday or Friday at the end of business or something. Like it's a few days before they're due.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be pulling and signing on the same day.
Right.
This says March 24th. The nomination papers are due back.
Yeah, that's the date Sarah was just pointing out.
Okay, so due back by the 24th. Okay.
Yeah, I think
the question was, can you pull papers the day before and then turn them in?
Well, the day before is a Sunday, so I think, and the town clerk's office, I don't know if you could pull Friday or if the last time would be Thursday because of the hours of the clerk's office. So clearly, end of the week of the 17th of March is the last chance.
Sam, is it in the newsletter? Can you do something on the town newsletter? Thanks.
I'll put it something.
Okay, thank you.
You can just leave we can contact anyone who wants more information.
Yeah. That'd be great. All right. Okay, back to agenda. Okay, does anyone else have anything that they would like to share?
I would just like to I apologize, Chris and Steph. I want to thank them for their work on the policy committee too. So, because they are very instrumental in that. So thank you.
Thank you. I know we said thank you to Sarah because she was the one explaining, but thank you also to Chris and Steph. Yes.
Sarah's doing the bulk of the work, so but you're welcome. I was just going to add my little 2 cents that I was at the Chelmsford Library recently for a program on menopause, which is very enlightening. So
Oh, I think Katrina and I went to the
I
same
went
one that was in
here.
Littleton. It was great.
I bet it's the same person.
I'm sure it
I think
was,
it is, yeah, it was, did you see the movie? Was the PBS documentary?
No, it was Dr. Laura Brown, I want to say.
Yes, same person, but they were
Yeah.
doing a screening of a PBS
Oh.
documentary that's recently come out. So,
It's a
but
good
it was definitely her, the same facilitator. But very interesting.
Yes.
timely for some of us on this panel, right?
Yeah.
Others, not so much.
So I don't know if everyone knows, but Westford is going to be redoing their library. And so I don't know when this is happening, but at some point they are closing the library for 2 years. And they're going to have a satellite site, which will just be like you can request a book and pick it up, but there will be no in-library services for 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know when that's happening, but kind of like COVID when you would request something and go and pick it up. That is their library services for 2 years once they do close their library.
That's what's happening in Melrose too right now with their construction.
Oh, 2 years. Wow. So we'll probably get more people in Littleton.
Yep. Yeah,
All
I
right.
bet they will scatter among the area.
Yeah. Okay. Our next meeting is on March 13th. Would anybody like to make a motion to close?
I move to adjourn.
A second.
All right. Mira,
Yes.
Katrina,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Kimberly, yes. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thank
Have a
you.
you.
presentation if you're going on one.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.